Hello everyone. My name is Divyansh Bhatnagar and I am a master's student at RAI Academy Pune, doing my masters in electric and hybrid vehicles. I am making this video as a part of my assessment by Dr. Sanjay Patil sir. The vehicle that I will be reviewing is Mahindra E2O Plus. Mahindra E2O is a pure electric hatchback introduced in India by Mahindra in 2013. It is one of the cheapest four-door urban electric hatchbacks in the world. The predecessor of E2O is Reva, which was launched in India in 2001 by Reva Electric Car Company. The same company was later acquired by Mahindra and Mahindra in 2010 and was renamed as Mahindra Electric Mobility Limited, which further came up with E2O in 2011. E2O Plus is widely used as a fleet vehicle in cab services. E2O Plus is offered in three different trims, namely P2, P4, and P6. All of these variants have a 19 kilowatt motor powered by a 48 volt battery pack. The diagram shows the basic arrangement of major components in the vehicle. Starting from the front, we have the air compressor used for air conditioning. This compressor is powered by the main battery itself and is used basically for air conditioning of the vehicle cabin. Moving ahead, we have the main lithium ion battery pack along with the auxiliary battery, which is situated almost below the driver and front passenger seats. It has cooling jackets around it from which air passes through the air duct as shown in diagram. Coming to the traction motor, as it is quite evident from the diagram that E2O is a rear-wheel drive vehicle. The traction motor is mounted at the rear axle along with the transmission and differential. The white arrow in the diagram shows the direction of energy transfer in case of regeneration mode of the motor. Coming to the basic specifications of the vehicle, on fully charging the main battery, E2O returns ideally a range of 140 km. The standardized consumption of the vehicle is 88 watt-hour. Talking about the revive feature, it is a patented technology by Mahindra. In case the vehicle runs out of charge, this feature can be activated by contacting Mahindra or by using their app, doing which will activate additional 5 to 8 kilometers of charge for the vehicle, and the vehicle can safely be maneuvered to the safest stop nearby. As standard, a charge of around 5 to 8 kilometer traction power is provided by the Revive feature. It is a hatchback with a seating capacity of 4 people. E2O Plus doesn't use any major transmission. The power is delivered directly by the motor and therefore known as direct drive. It has two forward gears, one for normal driving and another for the boost mode to get extra power. Coming to the dimensions, the table shows the basic dimensions of the vehicle. As E2O Plus is a hatchback, the length has to be less than 4 meters, which in this case is 3590 mm. Width of the vehicle is around 1575 mm and height is 1585 mm. Both width and height are almost same, or at least they are comparable to each other, which indirectly results in a boxy design of the vehicle. The ground clearance is pretty decent, which is 170 millimeters. Wheelbase, that is the distance between the front and rear wheels on either sides, is 2258 millimeters. Track width, which represents the distance between front two wheels, is 1312 millimeters. Boot capacity available is around 135 liters and the unladen curb weight being 937 kg. Coming to the braking performance, E2O Plus is equipped with disc brakes in front and drum brakes at the rear. The top speed of E2O is around 80 kilometers per hour, and therefore only one set of disc brakes in the front are sufficient to provide braking instead of using disc brakes on all four wheels. It is also equipped with a manual parking brake, commonly known as a handbrake, which can be applied simply by pulling a lever. Coming to the steering, The steering is an electronic power steering unit. It operates on simple rack and pinion arrangement along with a motor that supplies torque to the steering column, which assists the driver in turning the steering wheel. The turning radius of E2O is 4.35 meters, which is quite a crisp figure and is an absolute advantage for the driver to maneuver the vehicle in city traffic and while taking turns. Next, we come to the suspension of the car. On the front side, E2O is equipped with McPherson strut type independent suspension with coaxial spring. McPherson strut is the most common and widely used suspension setup for the front of the vehicle. Its versatile operation makes it a perfect choice to be used in passenger vehicles. The rear suspension comes with a simple set of trailing arms, which means that the suspension linkages are directly mounted between the pivot point and the rear axle. This setup is accompanied by coaxial spring dampers. Next, we have tires. E2O Plus comes with a standard rim size of 35.6 centimeters, which is around 14 inches. The code 165/60R14 means that the nominal width of tire is 165 millimeters, height of the sidewall being 60, and rim size being 14 inches. The spare wheel is a smaller size wheel with 13 inches rim size. Talking about the performance of the vehicle, the maximum speed achieved by E2O is about 80 km per hour. 0 to 40 takes about 6.3 seconds, while 0 to 60 kilometers per hour takes 14.1 seconds. The diagram shows the major components under the bonnet of E2O Plus. Due to the lack of space at the rear because of the presence of traction motor, the spare wheel is mounted under the bonnet of E2O Plus. Apart from the spare wheel, the major component that can be seen is the air compressor. Now coming to the electronics of the vehicle, first we will talk about different voltage levels operating in the vehicle. There are mainly three different voltages operating. The main battery gives an output of 48 volt DC, whose main function is to power the traction motor. Apart from traction motor, these voltage levels are also used for the input supply to the compressor. Next is a 12 volt DC supply provided by the auxiliary battery. This volt is most widely used in the vehicle electronic components, as most of the auxiliaries operate on 12 volt only. Third one is 230 volt AC supply, which is required for AC charging. 230 volt is the standard output of the plugs that are present in our households. The auxiliary battery used in E2O Plus operates at 12 volt and has a capacity of 20 amp hour, while the main battery operates at 48 volts and has a capacity of 210 amp hour. Before moving forward, I would like to have a small discussion on battery capacity. A battery's capacity is the amount of electric charge it can deliver at a rated voltage and is physically determined by the size or the volume of the electrodes that are used in the battery. The unit of measurement of battery capacity is amp hour, which is the product of current and time. A general way of expressing the capacity is the amount of current that the new battery can supply for 20 hours time at a rated voltage and 20 degrees Celsius temperature. From this, we can conclude that our auxiliary battery, which is rated 20 amp hour, can supply a current of 1 ampere for 20 hours at 12 volt and around 20 degrees Celsius. Similarly, the main battery has a rated capacity of 210 amp hour operating at 48 volt, meaning that it can supply a current of 10.5 ampere for 28 hours at 48 volt and 20 degrees Celsius. Now coming to the traction motor of E2O Plus, it employs a three-phase squirrel cage induction motor for the main purpose of providing traction to the vehicle. The simple design of induction motor and absence of permanent magnets makes it a good choice for EVs. But due to the bulky weight and heat losses, it is quite inefficient and is rarely used in the current market scenario. The peak power of motor is 19 kilowatt obtained at a speed of 3500 rpm, while torque is 70 newton meter obtained at 1050 rpm. The main battery The main battery has a capacity of 210 amp hours, and as discussed before, in a generalized way, it can be said that the battery has a capacity to provide 210 divided by 20, that is 10.5 amps for 20 hours at its rated voltage, that is 48 volts at around 20 degrees Celsius. Just like most of the EV manufacturers, it also employs lithium ion technology in the battery because of its fast charging capability, long life, and high power density. The main battery contains a total of 16 modules, and each module further contains 64 cells. The onboard power available or the power capacity of the battery is 11 kilowatt hour. I would like to bring to everyone's notice that in the above discussion, we have used two different terms, that is capacity, or we can say the amp hour rating, and the second is on power, which is also known as the power capacity or the watt hour rating of the battery. Both these terms directly or indirectly represent the power of the battery, but in a different context. The ampere is a measure of charge and provides an estimate of how much energy a battery can hold. It is the amount of energy in the form of charge inside a battery that will allow 1 ampere of current to flow for 1 hour, and thus the units being amp hour. The capacity technically is the ratio of energy and internal voltage of the battery. On the other hand, watt hour is a measure of power and indicates the equivalent to 1 watt of average power output over an hour. The weight of the battery is 84 kg. Now moving on to the charging aspect of E2O Plus. Basically, there are two methods of charging available for the vehicle. First method is using a regular wall plug that is used in household or a public charging station with a single phase 3 kilowatt 16 amps charger. This charger operates on standard 230 volts single phase AC, and the current is supplied to the battery at a rate of 16 amps, and the charger can deliver a maximum power of up to 3 kilowatt. This method takes approximately 7 hours and 20 minutes to completely charge a battery from 0 to 100%. The second method is to use the DC fast charger, which is available at compatible public fast charging stations. The fast charging uses a 10 kilowatt 32 amps fast charger. Now let's have a look at some of the charging points that are available in E2O Plus. This is the charging point for slow AC charging. This is available only in the top of the line P8 variant. This is a Type 2 AC charger. This is the charging point for slow AC charging available in lower variants. This charging point is for DC fast charging. This is available in all the variants and it uses a GVT fast charger. Mahindra has also earlier introduced solar charging stations and named them as Sun2Car technology. These are standard charging stations which use solar energy to charge the vehicle. These are available in three different options. The first one is the direct solar charging, also known as Sun2Car DC1, due to the fact that DC power is supplied to the vehicle. It consists of four solar panels, each with a maximum output of 25 watts, making the total output of the system as 1 kilowatt. The user plugs the car directly from the solar panel's DC power source DC charging point. This system generates almost 4 to 6 kilowatt hour on a sunny day and can charge the battery almost up to 50%. It is ideal for corporate parks where electric vehicles can be parked and charged during office hours. Second is Sun2 Car AC1 solar and grid charging. This system consists of solar panels, electronics for power management, and an inverter for conversion of DC power to AC. In this setup, the system supplies power into the local home grid during daytime. The car is then charged from the grid at night or during the day only. This is also called as grid-tied solar charging system. The car is charged from a normal 15 amps port and it is ideal for use in individual house. The inverter output is connected to the house main supply bypassing the electric meter. Whenever the car is not being charged, the electric energy generated is consumed by the domestic usage. A typical 1 kilowatt system is capable of producing 4 to 6 kilowatt hour units of energy on a sunny day, which can charge the battery almost up to 50%. The third one is the Sun2 Car AC3, solar and grid charging with battery backup. This system consists of solar panels, electronics for power management, an inverter for conversion of DC power to AC, and a battery for storing the power. In this system, the solar panels generate power and store them into the battery. The user charges the car from the batteries. When the batteries get fully charged, then the power is supplied to the local grid and is used for domestic consumption, thus reducing the home's electricity bill. The car is charged from the normal 15 amps port, and also this system is ideal for individual house where one needs a power backup facility. The inverter output is connected to the house main supply bypassing the electric meter, similar to the previous method. A typical 1 kilowatt system is capable of producing 4 to 5 kilowatt hours of energy on a sunny day. This energy is enough to charge Mahindra E2O up to 50%. As we can see in the diagram, this is the charging station for Mahindra E2O Plus being charged by Sun2 Car technology. Now let's have a look at the various electrical loads that are present in the vehicle. Basically, what a load does is it converts the input current into different types of energy depending on the type of load. Resistive load typically converts the input current into heat energy and is used most commonly in electric bulbs, while inductive load generally leads to generation of magnetic field and for the same reason have a huge application in motors. But in case of capacitive loads, the situation is quite different. Capacitive loads cannot generally be classified in a standalone format. That is, unlike bulb is resistive load and motor is inductive, we cannot easily classify any device as a capacitive load. Capacitors are employed in circuits for controlling the power use and to improve overall power factor of the system. Let's move on to specification of different electrical loads in the vehicle. First is the three-phase induction motor, which is an inductive type of load. As we already discussed, it gives a maximum power of 19 kilowatt at a speed of 3500 rpm, works on 48 volts, and has a controller which takes in a current of 600 amperes. Wipers are controlled by wiper motor and hence they are in the category of inductive load. Their output power is 14 watts and work on voltage supplied by auxiliary battery that is 12 volts and take a current of 1.5 ampere. The integrated compressor and motor does the job of air conditioning and properly blowing the air to ensure proper circulation within the cabin. For the same reasons mentioned earlier, they are also inductive loads and produce a rated power of 1.2 kilowatt. Due to high power requirements, they work on 48 volts supplied by main battery. Steering motor again is an inductive load giving a power output of 2.5 kilowatt and running on 3.8 amps of current. Coming to the lighting system, all the components, that is headlights, parking lights, bonnet lamp, indicators, brake light and reverse light, are auxiliary components which run on 12 volts and are resistive type of load. Only the power output of these components varies. Headlights have the maximum power output rated at 55 watts as their job is to provide a powerful beam for visibility at night. Also, indicators and reverse light have comparatively high power rating of 21 watts as they have to be brighter than other lights in order to alert the vehicles around about our vehicle's direction of motion. Remaining are the parking lights rated at 5 watts, bonnet lamp rated at 2 watts, and brake light rated at almost 3.5 watts. The central infotainment system is a combination of various components along with a capacitive touch screen and therefore have all three types of load. Power windows are also controlled by a motor. Each window has a separate motor for controlling its movement and they work on 12 volts supplied by auxiliary battery. The standard charging plug, as discussed in detail earlier, has a power output of 3 kW, working on 16 amps current and 230 volt AC. In the end, we have a brief discussion about converters that are used in E2O. E2O uses one DC-DC converter for conversion of 48 volt DC supplied by the main battery to AC input required by the induction motor. It also employs two AC-AC converters. One is a unidirectional converter used in charging to convert AC power supplied to the DC power for charging battery. Another one is a bidirectional converter used in regenerative braking to convert AC power produced by the generator to DC power for charging the battery. It also employs DC-DC converters as the batteries produce a fixed voltage, while there are many components working at different voltage levels. So that was all the info that I could extract for Mahindra E2O Plus electric vehicle. Thanks a lot for listening patiently.